Did you know that Omicron is 3 times more transmissible than the Delta variant? That's right. That means it's 3 times more contagious. And we saw a lot of Delta. So this explains, or at least partly, why we're seeing a lot of Omicron. Guys, it's 3 times more contagious than Delta. Guys, I'm Dr. Jen Caudle, practicing family physician. I'm answering some common questions you guys have asked me, including that one, how transmissible is Omicron? I'm also answering a question you've asked is, when are you most contagious when you have COVID? And finally, how long will it take you to develop COVID after you're exposed? What's the incubation period of Omicron? Let's start with contagiousness, okay? I already said that Omicron in and of itself is 3 times more contagious than Delta, but in general, with COVID, when are you most contagious? Well, the CDC says that you are most contagious 1 to 2 days before you develop symptoms and 2 to 3 days after you develop symptoms. Guys, this is really important because this information really kind of weighs into why the CDC and other organizations have made their recommendations about quarantine, isolation, if you test or not, or whatever, that we've talked a lot about that. But this science and data weighs heavily into that. I'm going to repeat this again. It's really important. You are most contagious with COVID 1 to 2 days before you get symptoms, and then 2 to 3 days after you get symptoms. This is also one of the reasons why we say if you test positive for COVID, or if you get symptoms, you think you have COVID, whatever, you call the people that you were around a couple days before you got symptomatic or tested positive or whatever, because remember, you are, highly contagious, in fact, most contagious 1 to 2 days before you get symptoms and 2 to 3 days after, okay? That's super important. That's a very highly contagious period of time. And then finally, incubation period. Let's go on to that. So an incubation period basically is, many of you have asked me, you said, Dr. Jen, how long will it take me to develop symptoms if I've been exposed to somebody with COVID? That's what you say. Great question. That's what incubation period is. Well, for Omicron, this period of time is shorter than what it's been for other variants. For Omicron, there's a recent study that suggests that the incubation period is about 3 days, meaning about 3 days after exposure to somebody with it, you could come down with symptoms. Now, for Delta, that was a little longer, other variants a little longer, so it's got a relatively shorter incubation period of time. That's probably also playing a role in what we're seeing happening in the world. But guys, hopefully these things will give you some information as to, why, some of the reasons why we're seeing a lot of cases. Some of the reasons why the CDC and other organizations have made the stipulations they have in terms of when we're contagious and things like that, and just understanding that Omicron is super contagious. Guys, I hope this is helpful. I'm Dr. Jen Caudle, practicing family physician, on-air health expert, and video creator. If you have not liked and followed my page, I invite you to do so. For those of you who send stars, I respond to you personally. Thank you so much. Consider joining my subscription group, Dr. Jen Superstars, and also my group called I Got the COVID Vaccine, to talk to other people who are getting the vaccine and who are posting about it, etc. Also, those of you on YouTube, hello! Please subscribe to my channel and click the little bell for updates. Guys, I'll talk to you soon.